channel. My name's Helena, for those of you who don't know me, and this is GoatGab, an educational channel for all goat enthusiasts. Today in Wisconsin, it's pouring rain and unconditionally sticky hot. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to hang out in the air conditioning and utilize some of the products that our goats produce. And one of the main products is milk. So we are going to be learning how to make unscented goat milk soap today. I know my favorite time of year is when I'm indoors, when it's too hot to be outside working with the goats comfortably, or when it's snowing here in the middle of January. I spend some time utilizing the extra milk I got from my goats during their lactation, and I use it in making cheese, candies, and even soaps. I definitely make a lot of soap. So we'll get started going over the supplies you'll need. To make your unscented goat milk at home, the raw materials you'll need are extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, 100% lye, and frozen goat milk. It's also important, but not necessary, to have alcohol spray. It's important that your goat milk is frozen or starting to thaw, but not in liquid form. If the milk is too readily available to the lye particles will attach and burn the fat molecules, turning it sour yellow and will become...
Now we'll go over the different equipment you'll need. I use the silver pot for my milk and lye solution, the deep welled blue pot for mixing my lye and oils, and I use my white pot just for oils. Everything is temperature checked before I incorporate it into the other solution. It's important that the lye and milk solution is in with 10 degrees of my oil solution. You can also use a handheld blender or a stationary blender. It's also important that all your ingredients are weighed on a scale and in a glass measuring cup, as the lye will eat through it.
Alright, now that we have everything ready at my station, we have our safety goggles and our gloves on, we can begin prepping our ingredients. The first thing I like to do is measure everything out before I even turn on the stove top. Heat is not our friend, nor is time. If we're heating up too fast, we can burn our oils, and it can essentially cause the milk lye to separate from the oils, and we will not have a nice bar of soap. So make sure you're pre-measuring everything out. Then you can take your time and you don't feel rushed if you're by yourself. We're going to start by measuring out 10 ounces of olive oil. I have my scale on here. It's on ounces. I do have my glass measuring cup here. And I'm not paying attention to any of the marking or measurements on here. It's important that we're precise and we do it by ounces and weight. So the first thing we're going to do is zero out my scale, and I am just going to start pouring in so I get 10 ounces. We are at 10 ounces of olive oil. I'm going to be adding that to my oils only pan. It's okay that the oils mix now, as long as it's just oils. Next, we can move on to the coconut oil. Right, we need 6 ounces of coconut oil. This is not working. All right, now we got a spoon to do some business. So, now I will be taking the coconut oil I had just measured out, and I will be mixing it with the olive oil at this time. Again, the stove is not on. We're simply just measuring out and getting everything ready to go in to our soap. Now we can measure out the milk to lye. You need separate containers for this. Do not mix it now, else it will melt and you will be way ahead of yourself. So I am going to be measuring out now our soap. We need 6 ounces of frozen goat milk. I'm going to zero it out again. All right, we are at 6 ounces of frozen goat milk. Next, we'll be measuring our lye. So I have zeroed out my scale again. It is my glass measuring cup, and we need 2.25 ounces. So now we have our oil mixture is combined and it's ready to be heated up on our stove top. we have our lye and our milk measured out, so you are good to go. Well, this is a fun angle. Hope you guys can see. So, we have combined 10 ounces of extra virgin olive oil and 6 ounces of room temperature coconut oil. You will need your thermometer at this point. Heat is not your friend. Do not put it on high. You barely even need the stovetop on for most of this recipe. So I'm going to turn my stovetop on low, completely low. And I start my thermometer, turn it on. Do not touch the bottom of the pot because the thermometer will read the temperature of the bottom of your pot, and that's not the correct temperature. So it's important that you hold your thermometer just mid-air, submerged in the oil, but not touching the bottom. All right, at this point, I'm going to turn off my stovetop. The heat of the oils that it's gotten up to will continue to heat itself. I am going to just set my spatula and my thermometer out. I'm going to set it on the back burner and take it off the heat for now, and we'll incorporate the lye into the soap. I have my milk measured out, my lye measured out, and I am just going to sprinkle the lye over top of the milk. I'm going to scrape out any excess that was left in here. And I'm going to begin to slowly stir my milk and lye. All right, so my cubes are almost completely melted into my lye solution. I'm going to leave this here and continue to heat my oils up to 98 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, we've hit 98 degrees. So I'm going to remove the oils from the heat at this point. At this point, you can now get out your blending pot. It needs to be a deep welled pot so that you're not getting any splashes of the blended materials onto yourself, burning your skin. And it's also time that you can plug in your blender. So it's important that you always do oil and then add your milk lye solution in that order. Do not add your oils to your lye. You don't need it splashing up at you. So at this time, I put it close down to the oils and slowly pour it in. So we will be using our handheld blender. And we'll be going in slow. I tip it away from myself at an angle, and I slowly start. All right, now that it is one unit, I've got it all combined. Mixture, 1 tablespoon of castor oil. This does not have to be measured on the scale, but I just take my castor oil and a measuring spoon and incorporate that. Nice heaping handful.
While blending in your castor oil, it's important to notice the change in consistency. This means your soap is beginning to trace. It will resemble a pudding-like consistency. This means it's time to prepare your mold.
We will be adding the soap mixture into the silicone mold. Make sure you're on a level surface. I'm now going to take and get a clean spatula. I'm going to just pour slowly into my mold. All right, and that is it. We are going to leave this soap to sit.
Now that you've waited 4 to 6 weeks, you should have a wonderful bar of soap to use.
All right, guys, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and pop over to our friends at the WDGA site and on Facebook to make those connections with other producers and enthusiasts just like you. See you next time.